Hello, beautiful souls. Happy Saturday. I know that I am coming on a different day than I usually record and post here on the channel. Typically, I do collective readings here on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But when I'm feeling really inspired and when there is a lot of extra energy coming through, I like to come on with what I call mini readings, like this video here and now. So in these videos, we tend to dive in very deeply and specifically to certain messages or threads of energy that want to come through. So do keep in mind that these readings do tend to be even more specific, I would say, than even the collective ones. They really are just meant for certain individuals or certain groups who will find them and connect with them. But whenever I feel a message like this coming through, I like to get it out here on the channel if I can, just because I know there's a good chance that there is someone out there listening who will need to hear this message at this time. And I have to say that with the Scorpio new moon that we experienced on the 19th or the 20th, depending on your time zone, there has been so much powerful energy coming through, and there are many shifts that are happening right now. I know that many of you are most likely feeling these shifts yourself. So if you have been feeling them and there is anything that you would like to share personally with our community here about what you've been feeling, what you've been experiencing, how you've been evolving, even just in the past few days, I would love to hear from you if you do feel guided to leave a comment. But I just have been picking up that there are these really powerful shifts happening, and it feels like a shift from envisioning to embodying. It feels like a shift from sowing the seeds and watering them and having the faith, and then suddenly seeing the manifestations above the earth. It's like that part where, well, the words that came through were the good part, which sounds so simple, but I feel like you finally made it to the good part of your life, of the story of your life, where things really start working for you and opening up for you in ways that I would say you never could have imagined. But the reason they're opening up is because you had the courage to imagine them. But they are going to work out even better than you may have even imagined possible. So the first of 3 messages I'm getting this channeling session. I'm going to be channeling 3 different messages and then releasing them in different time slots just to give each message space to breathe. So this will be the first message. There's another message coming 8 hours from now, and then another message coming 8 hours after that. And each message will be very unique. 2 of them are love messages and 1 is more life path related. So to make sure that you are here to get those messages when they do come out, I recommend subscribing to the channel if you are feeling a resonance here, so that you don't miss the next video drops when those messages come out, because really this channeling is going to sort of be a 3-part, I would say, series, but each message is distinct and individual. So it's like a 3-part channeling session, but with 3 very different messages that are interrelated in the sense that they are all markers of this next phase of your soul's evolution. The first message is, and I will tell you verbatim what I wrote down, and also this will most likely be the title of this video. The message is, you're the first feminine energy they actually feel is capable of holding them. So specifically right here, I am speaking to a divine feminine collective, and even more specifically, this collective of divine feminines has undergone a very deep, intense personal transformation over the last several years. And this has been such a slow process. I'm hearing the divine feminine collective I'm speaking to in this video has lived a life that has looked so different from everyone around them, because while everyone around you was settling down and going down traditional life paths, either in love or in their career, just in their lives generally, you were forging your own path. And it wasn't even because you came into this life intending to be rebellious or anything, like just for the sake of rebelling. In fact, I feel that there have been many times where you've had a sort of internal conflict where a part of you wonders, why can't I just conform? Or maybe you think to yourself, it would be so easy if I could just conform myself even a little bit, if I could just follow the beaten path, so to speak, instead of forging my own way. And yet your soul has always felt this profound restlessness in this life and this desire to do things differently, to break from the mold and to show others a different pathway. And I'm getting that anytime you've tried to conform in any kind of way, you've always found yourself pulled back, just like a rubber band in a sense, pulled back because your soul is tethered from some perspective to a particular pathway that is very unique, very unconventional, and entirely your own, that no one outside of you has ever been capable of fully understanding. Although I do hope that through this channel, I can provide you some small amount of confirmation and understanding, because I get the sense that in your waking daily life, throughout the years of your life, you've often felt as though no one around you really understood your path. So as a bit of a side message, it is my goal through this channel that this can be a space where you feel seen, where you feel supported in that very unique journey that you are upon. And so, yeah, I'm getting that there's been this inner frustration because your soul has been tethered to a very high vibrational life path that is meant to set a different example for the collective. But although it's a very high vibrational path, it has not in any way, shape, or form conformed to the norm. And so it's been a path that you've had to carve out yourself every single step of the way. And it's required a huge amount of energy, thought, vision, and courage on your end continuously, day after day after day. But what I'm getting is that specifically in your love life, you have come across many masculine energies who feel deeply activated by you, but are not able to hold the intensity of your energy. And this has created a frustration in your love life because there's been this sense of being too much. Of course, you are not too much. You are an activator in love. And what this means is you carry such a powerful heart chakra energy that it opens the hearts of others. And I'm actually getting that there are certain ways specifically that amplify this effect that you may have noticed. They will probably be different from person to person, but I'm getting that whenever your heart chakra energy is transferred, especially in a more potent kind of way, whether it's through your voice, through speaking to someone, making intense eye contact with someone. For some of you, I'm hearing maybe it's when you sing a song for someone, it like opens their heart, or when you write or when you create. There's certain ways that you seem to more powerfully channel this heart chakra energy that you are already emanating in such a powerful way that amplifies its effect. And I wrote down that it like seems to enchant people, or sometimes when it comes to masculine energies, it's almost like it quote unquote makes them fall in love with you. That's a very simplistic way of putting it. But when I say that, what I mean is it's like you are transferring this very open-hearted kind of energy through something you are doing, saying, or creating that is then reaching these masculines directly in the heart space and activating them in such an intense way that it feels like falling in love. What I'm getting though is that as a result of this, you have been in many situations where someone becomes afraid of the intensity of the love that they feel for you so quickly. Because the other aspect I'm getting here is this tends to happen very quickly. It doesn't seem to take people very long to fall in love with you or to become very infatuated with you or addicted to your energy. And yet, ironically, that can be a really terrifying experience to someone who isn't used to having their heart so open. You naturally seem to open and activate the hearts of others. People may even say things to you like, wow, I haven't cried in months and years. And then maybe they cry in a conversation with you, or something about you triggers this emotion within them, both what we perceive as the negative, so maybe like the grief, the crying, the sadness, but also the positive as well. You open people up to the full spectrum of emotional experience, because that is what open heart chakra energy is all about. And what you're really doing is opening their heart chakra. Now, at times, I feel you even had masculines from your past who have potentially blamed you for the ways in which you opening their heart chakra causes them to feel the negative end of that emotional spectrum, if that makes sense. So when you encounter them, when you enchant them, so to speak, activate them in the heart space, and they begin to open their heart and they feel everything, including those negative emotions that they may have been trying to suppress, you've had experiences where masculine energies have then projected that onto you and said, like, you're making me feel this grief or this anger or this hurt, even though it has nothing to do with you, but everything to do with you. What I mean is, yes, you are the cause in that moment. You are transferring an open heart chakra energy to them in a way that is opening their heart, that is causing them to feel those emotions. But the emotions themselves were being stored within them regardless, and often come from childhood wounds or past experiences, feelings that they've never let themselves feel. You bring up the feelings in others that they never have before let themselves feel. And so often they either will project onto you and become angry or go cold on you or blame you for what is coming to the surface for them that they may not be willing to take accountability for and process for themselves. Or on the other end of the spectrum, the intense amount of love and happiness and joy that they feel in your presence so quickly may actually scare them and cause them to shut down, because they will be confronted with any worthiness wounds that they have around experiencing so much bliss and so much happiness and so much love for another person. It can cause them to naturally begin to feel almost anxious in their own vulnerability, because they can't help but be vulnerable and open around you. And that can be terrifying to a masculine energy who isn't ready to hold themselves open in that way in the heart space. So I feel that part of why you've manifested in this video, although I know that you know this on some level, but it's meant to be a confirmation for you. A confirmation for why these different dynamics have occurred in the past with certain masculines in your love life, why you've had these situations where people seem extremely drawn to you romantically and to fall in love with you very quickly, but then to quickly either like blame shift onto you or project onto you when those negative emotions come up for them, or to become afraid by the intensity of their own love for you. Now, a little sneak preview for some of you, I will say the next message I'm releasing in 8 hours is actually going to be about someone who was afraid by the intensity of the love that they're feeling for you, that you may have been dreaming about recently, who is going to be coming back into your life for the collective I'm speaking to. So that won't be for everyone, but if that resonates, be sure to check back on the channel 8 hours from now when that video is posted. Members, by the way, on YouTube can view readings early. So whenever I get that posted, it will be available for members to listen to early. But anyway, I want to go into a separate message because you activate masculines in the heart space in this very powerful way. And you've had a lot of past experiences where this activation would actually lead to a disconnect. But this time for the collective who is resonating with this message, you are experiencing a situation that's very different, where you are activating a masculine energy in a way that is not scaring them, but bringing them closer. Yes, it is very intense for them, but this is someone who actually is ready for you and open to this experience. And this is going to be a shock to you, whether this is someone you've met recently or someone you're meeting very soon. It's going to be a surprise, because this is going to be unlike anything you've ever experienced. For the feminine collective I'm speaking to here, you have most likely gone through so many of these experiences in love where you either were scaring someone away, quote unquote, because the feelings that they would have for you would get too intense for them, or maybe again, they would project onto you and you would need to set boundaries with that kind of projection energy that they were trying to put back on you. But this situation is very different because this is a masculine who is ready for you. In fact, they've been manifesting in a divine feminine like you. And when they meet you, or maybe they've already met you, they are going to have the sensation that you are everything in a feminine that they have been waiting for, longing for, and craving, but that they truly didn't even really believe existed until they met you. You are going to check everything on their so-called checklist of things that they possibly could have wanted in a feminine, but so much more than that. It's like beyond what they could even define. And the thing about this connection is it's going to be very mutual. For the collective I'm speaking to, you are going to feel the same way about this person. And I'm hearing you've never experienced a connection that is so healthily mirrored. I feel that you have gone through intense soul activations where there was mirroring, whether it was with a soulmate or a twin flame, but I'm getting that because of the wounded state of that connection or of the other person involved, while there was that mirroring and maybe some triggering, it often would lead to cycles of shutdown and separation, and ultimately you feeling betrayed or rejected by that other person because of their own wounding. But what I'm getting here when I say there's healthy mirroring, it's like you mirror the best in each other. You amplify the best parts of each other. You seem to naturally motivate, inspire each other, and remind each other of who you really are at the core in your best aspects. You seem to amplify each other's light aspects. And I'm hearing at the same time, you're able to excavate each other's shadows, because the sense I get is that this is a connection that actually heals you by being connected to it. Yes, you've done a lot of healing work on your own. You've done a lot of that excavation internally, energetically, but this is someone that you actually can continue healing and evolving with through a connection with them in the physical world. And that may be another unique aspect of this sort of connection with this masculine energy. But on their end, I kept getting the image of this embrace, and I call it an embrace instead of a hug because it just felt so deep and warm and like a very, very long, intimate kind of hug. And as I saw this vision, I saw the two of you transferring all of this super warm, affectionate, beautiful, open energy that actually made you both feel emotional. So for some of you, maybe this is a premonition. Maybe you've not met this person yet, but this hug imagery is like meant to symbolize that when you come together with this person, there's going to be this massive exchange of energy that is so mirrored and that amplifies the best in both of you, and that makes you both feel so held, maybe in this literal sense if the hug is real, or maybe just metaphorically if this didn't actually happen or hasn't happened yet. But it's like metaphorically you make each other feel so held and supported. It's almost like you both actually have the space and the readiness for each other, and neither of you has experienced being held so entirely by another soul in a physical human form. And I'm hearing it's going to be a life-changing kind of experience, because while you've always somewhat suspected or known that something like this existed, you've never felt it in quite this way or quite this form. I'm getting that you literally had to go on the most intense journey of self-love in order to meet this person. You had to heal on such a deep level in order to connect with such a high-level connection as this one that seems to be entering your life at this time, or that entered your life very recently, just depending on which wave or timeline you are on. Now, I know this message will not be for everyone. Of course, only take it if it does connect for you personally, but I do want to channel some messages specifically from the divine masculine in this situation and what they are feeling towards you. Because what I'm getting is that they, in their own mind, keep thinking that they've never connected with a feminine energy, even remotely like you, specifically because they feel so, the word contained sounds limiting. They feel so held in your presence. And again, it goes back to like that hug imagery. Maybe you did literally hug, and in that moment, they felt so much warmth and support from you. Like they felt like they could actually be held by you, be seen for all that they are in your presence. They're perceiving you as this magical high priestess energy, this like literal mediator between them and their higher self. Although I don't see them codependently using you as like that bridge, but they respect and honor the fact that you do have this profound connection to divinity, that there's something so sacred about you. Something else I got around this imagery was walking into this absolutely beautiful church, like a giant, beautiful cathedral with the most gorgeous, high arched ceilings and stained glass windows. And what I channeled in my meditation this morning was the feeling of reverence that comes with walking into a space like that, and how when you walk into a church like that, you naturally feel like it is sacred. You feel like you are walking into something holy and something to be revered. And I channeled that this is how this masculine feels about you. They feel like when they connect with you, they are entering this sacred sanctuary that is holy ground, that is meant to be revered. They have this sense of reverence in your presence, and you will see it in their eyes. You will see it through their actions. I'm actually getting that this is someone who will literally show you through their actions, words, and energy, and the alignment in those three things, meaning their actions, words, and energy will align when it comes to you, so that you will feel such a peace and stillness in this masculine's presence. Or if you've already met them, you're already feeling that. The reason you feel this peace and stillness is because, unlike with so many of the wounded, fragmented masculines you connected with in the past, where you were constantly expending energy or feeling kind of frazzled subconsciously because you were sensing that something was out of alignment when it came to like their energy versus their actions versus their words towards you, it's the opposite with this masculine. You can sense that they are coming from a place of wholeness and alignment within themselves, meaning their words, their thoughts, their actions, their emotions, their intentions, everything aligns. And so you naturally feel a stillness within you. And this is part of what confirms to you the difference in a healed masculine energy as opposed to a wounded one. And I just got this idea just now as we were channeling here, but I would really love to do a video for you, Divine Feminines, on the difference between connecting with a healed masculine energy and a wounded masculine, and how to feel and to recognize the difference even in the early stages, not even just romantically, but masculine energies of all forms, whether it's opportunities in the workplace or with your business or just in general in your life, platonically. Because as a divine feminine, you have this superpower, so to speak, where you are able to really sense in an intuitive way whether the masculine you are interacting with is healed or is out of alignment. You can feel it like in your body, in your mind, in your emotions, but so many feminines collectively are gaslit by society out of listening to that inner guidance. They are told to ignore those signals and to just blindly trust the other rather than trusting themselves and their instincts. And so I know that so many of us have been on this beautiful journey of coming back into that place of self-trust, tuning in to what we are sensing from people and situations that we're connecting with, trusting that inner guidance. And I'm so passionate about sharing information, any information I can on all of that, because I know that this is a journey that is so contradicting the norm. It's really pushing against the grain, but in the most transformative kind of way. We are setting a new pattern for humanity through living the example of that pattern. And I guess this is just a really beautiful place to kind of begin to wrap up the reading as well, because I just want to say also that I honor you on your path of doing this. I know that it is not always easy to wake up and to show up every day and to live the example of a different pattern. And I admire you on that journey. And I see you waking up and doing the work every day. And I hope that this channel can be some small form of support for you along that journey. I also offer subliminals that can continue to support you on your journey as well. Personally, as a divine feminine myself, I have found subliminal meditation to be such a powerful tool for shifting my own energy, my own frequency, and manifesting my own desires in life. Because Like I mentioned earlier, we as divine feminines are so collectively programmed away from our own power, and so much of that programming gets picked up subconsciously, even from a really young age. So the reason subliminals are so effective specifically is because they uniquely target the subconscious mind. So essentially, when you listen to subliminals, you are positively reprogramming your own subconscious limiting beliefs and patterns that may have been holding you back your entire life. You are shifting those belief systems and opening yourself up to attracting in the love, the beauty, the radiance, the connection, the abundance, the success that you so deserve to experience in this lifetime. So I am so passionate now about creating and sharing my own subliminals with all of you. And I do share them now through my Subliminals app. The name of the app is Sound and Soulful, and it's now available in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. In the app, I have, I believe now, at least over 140 different subliminals in essentially every area of life. So there are subliminals for love, relationships, for energy clearing, money, business, manifesting specific things, mood, mindset, and so much more. And for each subliminal, you can read the affirmations that are embedded within the track that are being targeted to your subconscious mind to reprogram it in positive ways to make you magnetic for your desires. You can also listen to each one in 10 different background sound options, and you can create your own custom private playlists in the app as well. Now, for you, Divine Feminine, if you're creating a playlist in the app, I would really recommend a couple different subliminals. The first is Magnetic Feminine Energy. Wow, this one has been so powerful for me. I've been using it since I first created it, which I believe was about a year ago. And it's meant to work with you, with your energy, with your mind, specifically as a divine feminine, to shift you into that state of being where you become so effortlessly radiant, beautiful, and magnetic for love, for positive attention, for your desires in life, where you can really just tap into that dance, where you are in flow with the universe every single day and creating the life of your dreams. I would also recommend my subliminal called Love Magnetism, because this is designed to clear any blockages you may be storing to attracting in truly beautiful, fulfilling, reciprocated, unconditional love connections, either platonically, romantically, new opportunities, etc. This is meant to make you super magnetic for all forms of love, but specifically for your highest romantic timeline in love, whatever that looks like for you personally. It can even be used to manifest a specific love connection, but it will essentially help you to align with your highest forms of love in this lifetime. And so these are the top two I would recommend for you, but there is so much to explore in the app, and you can try it all out completely free for 7 days. Give it a try for 7 days and just see how it works for you. And you can create a free trial account in the app by clicking the link in the pinned comment underneath this video. So I'm going to go ahead and close things out here. Thank you so much to all of you beautiful divine feminines who are tuned into this reading today. From the bottom of my heart and soul, I love you all so much. I am so grateful that you're here. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Are you feeling the shifts that we've been describing since the new moon in Scorpio? As I said, there will be 2 more videos coming out kind of in line with this energy. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss them. And you can also follow me on Instagram at Magnetize Yourself, where I post energy updates and inspiration to keep your vibration high all day long. You can also now listen to my channeled music. I am a songwriter and singer, and I have been creating and sharing channeled songs through Spotify. So my artist name on Spotify is Songs by Infinity. And the link to follow me on Spotify so you are the first to know whenever I release new music is underneath this video in the description box. So otherwise, I am wishing you a beautiful day, and I will connect with you here again in the next reading.